Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, 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 and away we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mike the Ref Twitch stream. AEW edition. I'm back. It's been a while. I'm sorry it's taken a while for me to get back here. Work sucks this week. It is September 14th. We're halfway through the month. And 12 days till my birthday. Life is going good here. Good to see everybody here, whether you're live, whether you're on demand, whether you're watching on YouTube. It's always appreciative to have you here once again. Just a quick reminder here, join up on our gaming channel here. The link is in the description there. Well, I guess it's not on the screen, but it's in the chat. Don't worry. Yours is Sunday, JJ. You know, all good people are born in September. You know that? So just, you know, give you a little cheer here. Good to see you here today, JJ. I did put a link up there for the gaming channel. Please give it a subscribe here. We're on our way to 100 people subscribing for it, so we can get a custom URL instead of that ugly little thing on the back end. I've just uploaded 8 new videos for this week and next week here. So we got a little Yu-Gi-Oh going on this week. This Saturday we have WWE 2K22 with Rick Jules joining up with his son Level Up Leon as they play through their WWE 2K series following the pay-per-views 1-1. Darth Mick, good to see you here. And next week, you guys are in for an absolute treat next week. PJC has been off for a little bit due to computer issues, work issues, but he's back. And all next week, he's our Google Stadia specialist. I know. Don't give him that too much, okay? He has gone through the newest games for Google Stadia Premier for the month, and broken them down into 5 videos. And yeah, you guys think Adam Blank has some hot takes? Well, Crowder gets a little spicy here too, so it's gonna be fun for you guys to check out here. So once again, make sure you check out the link above here for the time for checking out the gaming videos here. But ooh, just read the chat as we go along here. Yeah, I know we need a little self-care here. I've been trying to keep up with that a little bit more here. Well, this week I ended up the reason I didn't stream yesterday, I ended up it was 6 days in a row of essentially I do repair work. So when things are quiet, it's relatively not bad, but when things are busy, things can get a little hectic. Well, we ended up with a little bit of I ended up working 6 days in a row, which normally we do five nines, but that last one I was actually on call as well, so I ended up with a 32-hour shift and I was just drained. So I just decided to just checking over a couple messages here and some Slack chats and whatnot. But yeah, it's been a little crazy here. But you know what's not crazy? Well, it's sort of crazy. We're all over the place here. AEW Dynamite tonight. We are in for a hell of a show. We essentially have 2 main events as part of this show, as well as another women's tag team match, which this could be a very hit or miss situation here with Sheeta actually being taken out last night on Dark. So now it's Storm and Athena taking on Baker and Deeb in the women's tag match here coming up on the show. And the only other two matches they've really announced for tonight are the two semifinals for the AEW Heavyweight Championship. We got Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson 3. And then we also have Sammy Guevarra and Jon Moxley, which it looks like we might possibly get Blackpool Combat Club imploding here as our main event for Grand Slam next week. Jungle Boy has an open contract. Okay. Like I said, I haven't heard of a whole lot of things. I'm assuming they're going to try and get Jungle Boy into another feud here tonight. Because apparently Christian's going to be out for 6 to 8 months or something with an injury. Not that, CLB can be trusted with anything he says. But I wonder who it could be. It very well could be Luchasaurus that shows up for the contract tonight. I would like to see that. They're probably going to save a match like that for Full Gear. But you never know. It could happen. Other than that, we're probably going to get a little bit about the Acclaimed. Possibly going up against Swerve in Our Glory. Just setting up that preview for next week, which I totally expect the Acclaim to win the tag team titles next week over Swerve in Our Glory. I don't know whether we're going to get a blow apart by the champs, because I know everybody's talking about, well, let's split up the champs. Let's split up the champs. I don't think we really need to do that yet. And yeah, it's a little bit crazy here tonight what we're going to be getting. Usually Tony Khan comes out and gives the long message of like, we got 6,000 matches and here's everything we're going to get. We haven't got a whole lot tonight. And the other important detail that I think has been overlooked a little bit tonight and not talked about is the fact that some of the agents from the backstage fight are back on their roles at Dynamite tonight. For example, Pat Buck is also in the zone, as we call it. I don't know what they would call the backstage. You got the gorilla position, you got the war zone, I'm sure there's something they call it. We just don't. There's so many people backstage, it could be anything. So they make the announcement that they're 100% suspend Punk, Omega, Young Bucks, lose Christian. Shida is booked in Japan this week. Well, there's so many rumors. Yeah, JJ is exactly it. Rumors flying around. You can't really believe anything going on. And Shida, well, they played off Shida's announcement there just by, they want people to go back and check out AEW Dark Elevation last night, which if you manage to go check it out, great. I don't have time for that, to be perfectly honest. I only have X amount of time when it comes to wrestling these days. Speaking of which, I better get my TV set up. I've been watching the Blue Jays and Rays game, which is turning out to be You ever get worried about a big fist fight going on in a metaphorical one between teams? That's what's happening between Tampa and the Blue Jays, and I'm here for it. Dark at Elevation, just play the background while you're working. Yeah, like when I'm editing videos, I try to keep as many things up as I can. I do try to get a little bit more about different streamers and different ones that I support actually on there, because the more you watch, the more likely their stuff's going to get shared, and they get bigger piece of the algorithm, and if they're monetized, they get a bigger piece of the advertising cake, right? So that's why I always ask, always check out, throwing those two out there right now, just subtly, as we got about 2 minutes here till Dynamite starts. Just want to give a shout out to everybody who's watching, whether you're lurking, whether you're watching complete. Here's another one for you guys. What do you guys think about the color change for NXT that they announced at the end of the show? Myself personally, I hope they don't go fully back to where they were for NXT 1.0. I do hope that they change the color scheme from that tie-dye fluorescent kids coloring four-year-old can't color within the lines kind of episode here. I do like the fact that they're going back to it a little bit. I want to see... You can color a horse whatever color it is. If it can't run, you're not going to put it in the Kentucky Derby. And Darthwick, bang on. Those colors did suck. And JJ, I'm with you too. Yep. You just got to wait and see what's going to happen here. So I got a feeling here we go, guys. Dynamite's about to come on the air. I'll give you guys a cue for the pyro so that we can sync things up properly here. And I got to remember mine as well here, because I try to label it in the YouTube videos so that you guys can skip right to that certain point. It's interesting that they changed a bunch of the wrestlers that even are ROH. They're going to be part of the opening here. There's the pyro, guys. But yeah, when they removed Punk and the Bucks from the intro and replaced it with some... Whoa! All right. I'm going to throw this out here first. I want to give a shout out here.
I hate this fucking song.
Anytime Moxley comes out, Wild Things the Wild Thing clips get played here. Bobby Munson, good to see you here tonight. I appreciate having you here. We should have an absolute great show here tonight as they're showing up the draw. It's funny that they're not showing the other two people involved in it, but I guess once you get past the spot, it really don't matter. So Mox, time to be a legend. So did you guys hear the reports that Moxley's pretty pissed off about the fact that he's working right now? Because he was supposed to get a 6-week break going into, or coming out of All Out. He was supposed to get a 6-week break and then come back in, building up to Full Gear. But as a true champion that he is, he came back. And I'm going to be frankly, I'm just going to throw a straight up piece here. The PWI 500 came out today. And it has Roman Reigns as #1, and as far as I'm concerned, when you have a major botch on one of your big 4 pay-per-views, and the other two, well, #2 didn't, straight up didn't. I'm a little upset about that, so I didn't buy it because, well, also Moxley isn't even in the top freaking 10. Like, for everything that Moxley's done this year for this company, just... Pfft. But for me... So let's see here. When I mean he has a wife and kid, he probably made plans. I understand. Well, this is the time of year where if you have kids and your kids don't go to school yet, they're that young... This is the time of year, like, especially in Canada, you can figure this one out real easy. This is where you take your kids to all the attractions, to all the fairs, anything that you want to do that normally kids would be at. You take them now because what the hell is Sammy wearing? Pink and yellow and... All right, it's a choice. Like, don't get me wrong, pink tights. I'm in Alberta. That's like a unanimous thing. Like, you always want that. But pink and yellow, and maybe that's just supposed to supposed to be made a point of the fact that he's with Ty Conti, who's from Brazil, right? So there's the yellow part of it, but I'll have to say this is a choice. Will there be blood in this matchup? I got a feeling the fact that it's the opener, probably not. It is Moxley, so, you know, the odds automatically go up to 70-30 in this case. Oh, Jesus. You know, you want to talk about being completely off your rocker here? I missed this out, guys. Let me get the predictions in here. Grand Slam Semi 1. John Moxley. Forgive my spelling if it ain't perfect. Let's get 5 minutes. Let's get it on the clock here. Let's go. All right, there we go. Predictions are up for you guys. Feel free to use your channel points to bet. For those that are new here, channel points are used to, you can redeem them for different things. I am going to try and modify those a little bit coming up here. Most of it sounds right now, but I know there's a quench and a stretch and all that great stuff, but I do want to get some other... Oh, here we go. Lethal signed it. That's cool. And then... Oh, great. We're getting the tag championship tonight? I'd assume it's a signing tonight. There's no way we're getting that championship match tonight, are we? But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's popped in. I know I've been saying that a lot today, but my God, I've been off a week, so I'm trying to get them all in tonight, right? You know, as much as I give crap to... Jesus! You knew Guevarra was going to go head over heels at least once in the match. I didn't expect it to be in the first 5 minutes. Astrid! Good to see you here, my friend. How are you doing tonight? Just get the booze in. Oh. See, Jaeger, this is why I got you in the chat. By the way, hi. You can keep my... You can keep me honest here with some of these things that I'm missing here. But it did say for the tag championship, so are they spoiling what's going to happen? Ha! Sorry, that was great. That was great. All right, folks, we got about two and a half minutes left in the predictions here. Yeah, it did say a title match, yeah. You didn't miss much in the beginning here, Astrid. They pretty much just went straight into this matchup, so... They just introduced, they're going to have Jay Lethal versus Jungle Boy tonight in a matchup, and then, yeah, the Lucha Brothers versus Swerve in Our Glory. Could we get the Acclaim versus Lucha Brothers next week? I doubt it, but you never know. But yeah, what I was saying, we're just got under 2 minutes right now, and it's about 2-1 for Moxley here. So if any of you are the gambling types that want to chase the money instead, Guevara's your man right now. Oh. I do appreciate the curb stop sort of like that, where you got a set of steps that'll move. So basically they'll take the brunt of the injury instead of... please take that sign down. Kingston Fear Sammy. It might not be the most tasteful side to have out there tonight. Well, we've seen a few that are a little less than tasteful here when it comes to signs here at AEW. So I got to ask you guys, what are your highlights of the first, basically this week of wrestling so far? Like, we got the rebrand of NXT. We got... what I consider, like, I've just seen the highlights. I haven't watched the whole thing, but we've had a rather, it seems like more of a blasé Raw last week. Like, they got to really step it up this week because it's the go-home show to coming to Edmonton in 2 weeks, this Monday. So I hope that... Yeah, I felt that. Yeah, I mean, like from what I've seen and what I read, the tag title change with Io Sky and Dakota Kai winning the women's tag team championships, it felt like they were reversing a booking decision that they screwed up earlier more than actually being a competitive match. Like nobody really got behind Raquel or Aaliyah, which I get. Like, hell, if we were doing points predictions for that match, I'd expect it to be completely one-sided in that one. But and then there'd be that one person there that would bet 10 points for Raquel and Aaliyah, like they would have at the finals of the tournament originally, and they'd be millionaires right now. Which means we'd probably be getting the Titanic theme nonstop for about an hour here on stream. Thank God I set up cooldowns for some of those sounds. But yeah, other than that, Kevin Owens just absolutely cleaning up no matter which way he goes. Like, he's one of those guys that I'll respect to the ends of the earth here, because no matter what he does, he just seems to be the ultimate professional. Whether he has to keep kayfabe, whether he has to be ultra serious, whether it's just about doing the right thing for him sometimes. It just, to me, it just is a complete winner. And then we'll see what happens here on Dynamite. I don't expect anything outside of the Blackpool Combat Club winning both of these matches. But we could get Jericho and Moxley again, and maybe they'll bring Mitch DePlant in as a special guest referee. You think Sammy with a breakup? Oh, and an upset. Yeah, well, either way, like, Sammy and an upset. Whoa, old school dirty deeds. Been a while since we've seen that match. Yeah, you know what, Darth? Long day, I get it completely. Trust me, I get it more than most. Like, basically today I've had to drag my butt over here to get some editing done. I ended up not getting up to like close to 10 o'clock my time here, which is noon Eastern. I like the idea, as Daniel said, beating 3 former champions on the way to winning the title, and then Mox could get some time off. Yeah, that very well could be it. And I would really like to see. Honestly, Danielson as champion could write a lot of good stories going forward, right? And giving Moxley that time off after having a banger of a match with his brother in the BCC. I think everybody could appreciate that. Personally, if I was Moxley, I might want to cut my vacation a little short, because watching the Bengals was a little rough last week, so. I was going to do a rib shot, but I've done those way too often here, so. Now, that's a smart transition there by Moxley. And this is what I like about the BCC going on here. I think Guevarra versus Danielson could build towards JAS versus BCC, have Garcia come out to back Danielson. This very well could be a way that you could get Garcia into the BCC and have that numbers game where everything matches up a little bit more here. Because if Moxley's taking time off, could you imagine Guevarra winning this clean? Also want to see Garcia get involved and stop Jericho from cheating. Like, prevent Jericho from using Floyd. Be a nice addition to Garcia not liking Jericho using the low blow on Danielson. Yeah. I would really like to see... Oh no, please, those... there's a possibility we could get Sammy in this, Astrid. I know it's not your favorite. And I know I brought it up on a few streams, but for anybody that's new here, one of our very first likes and subscribes on our channel, the wrestling YouTube channel, was actually from Sammy Guevarra. This is... Wow. That's a nice way to absorb a hit and get that Spanish fly in like that. Has Danielson faced Guevarra before? I don't know if they faced off one-on-one. Huh. Sorry, I was just one. I gotta share out this reel later. Sorry, it got loud there. I didn't realize my phone was that loud at that point. Just another Jericho, or sorry, Punk bringing out. He's here because he has to help out the young talent in the back, and yeah, well, we know what happened. Oh, here come the ladies. Now, can we get Renee out here? Let's get Renee out here to balance out the odds. My fear is Mox versus Danielson gets the JAS. Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. Ty's boot's not that big, so it probably didn't affect as much. That's probably what happened. Go for that senton, nobody home. Uh-oh, Guevara's tights are like not work. Oh. Guevara's tights are getting a little clingy there at that point. Yeah, JJ, you do the... It's one thing I can't stand about the JAS, and I understand that's the gimmick of the Jericho Appreciation Society, the shenanigans, the outside interference, the sports entertainment part of it. But the fun part is the sports entertainers aren't sports entertaining as much anymore. They're wrestling. So, uh-oh, look over these shots. Oh, nice high knee. Going up over the top. Well, that was pretty straightforward. Well, Guevarra versus Danielson would have been okay, but ref's like, I didn't see anything. Yeah, okay, sure. All right, time to get these points out. I love the reaction of Moxley here. It's the subtle things that do it for me here. And Moxley, after he hit it, he did that little fist pump because he knows he did it. He knows he got it. And that, to me, that's a sign of somebody who really knows what the hell he's doing out there and really knows how to sell properly. Oh, sorry, JJ. I did throw it up a little bit late, but we still had 5 minutes on it, so... Don't worry, we'll have plenty of money to get out. Shout at a cloud. Let's just throw an extra gold coin in there for you. Good to see you here tonight. How is life treating you here tonight as we are producing some wrestling content today. I was trying to figure some witty banter there, and that's just all that came out. That's why you got the fancy voice. So, but yeah, it looks like we could either be going Jericho. We're either going to get Jericho Moxley or Danielson Moxley, and I got a feeling it's going to be Danielson Moxley. Maybe it's just me. It's going to be tough to have face-face, but I think an AEW crowd will be able to handle it a little bit better than most crowds, right? And the story between the two, just the fact that they respect and they've had to beat each other up before. It's pretty fantastic if you ask me. Either way, whichever way they're going to go. I kind of hope it's Jericho Moxley because Danielson Moxley deserves better than a 1 week build. I get it. The only question for me, Shelton, the only thing that I'm going to have to bring in a special guest next week if it is Jericho Moxley. I'm going to have to find Mitch here and see if he can do a guest appearance here on the stream next week. Well, I know Mitch's younger brother there sitting on the end of the desk, but, you know, maybe we can see if we can get the original Mitch here for a show or two. So while we got a commercial break here as things are going on here, just want to give you guys a heads up. My next stream is going to be tomorrow afternoon. And we are going to be doing, I know this is hard for somebody like, you see me, you know, you think maybe country, maybe some pop music going on. No, we're going to be talking a little death metal tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be trying out the newest game coming out on Game Pass tomorrow, Metal Hellsinger. If you haven't heard of it, basically it is the game Doom with a rhythm-based shooter. Basically, you got brand new music and you have to play to the beat of the songs. Hope you were going to say Wu-Tang. All right, you know what, Darth Mick, I'm going to give you a gold coin for that one too. Because, you know, I got to get the Mario gold coin in here for that instead of the NBA Jam one. Yep, it has Surge from System of a Down with its own custom song. There are a bunch of singers from a lot of great metal bands that are a part of this, and I want to try it out. Apparently, this is all original music, so DMCA's be damned. I'm just going to give it a try and see what it's like here. But I'll tell you, actually, growing up and even now, my favorite kind of music, and I want to ask you guys, what's your favorite kind of music as JJ's favorite wrestler is about to come down to the ring here for a promo? What's your favorite kind of music? Because for me, it's not, I don't have a specific type or a specific... Well, I see MJF's in his happy place right now. For me, it's anything that can basically be used as a warm-up or during games, or... There's a reason why I'm Mike the Ref. I've reffed sports for 20 years for this. And for me, it was just games that could get you amped, songs that can get you amped up. And for me, that's my favorite kind of music here. But what is... It's because shut your damn mouth! Some new metal, smaller rock, instrumental. Yeah, I'd totally go with that. Ooh. Ooh. That's stretching it out a little bit. The only thing I hope is this promo doesn't get dragged out too long. Oh, they're in Albany. Okay, so that's basic. He makes it sound like a bad thing. I like how just before he talks about bullying, he's just about to push over to... He pushes the cameraman over to the corner. I like it. Wow, a lot of new metal responses in the chat here. Okay, now he's going into alcoholism. This is interesting. And he's probably saying all this because he knows Moxley's probably not coming out. The guy's showing off his muscles because it's probably bigger than MJF's. See, JJ, there's a lesson you got to learn. Bad things happen when you get in MJF's way. Okay. All right, I haven't done polls yet. I'm going to throw a poll up here right now. Everybody that's been in here for a while, just feel free to throw your voice in here about this. And JJ's got the point here. Same old storyline. Pick a personal moment to build a match, and yeah, that's how he works. But it's worked. Okay. All right, so I'm glad they're at least putting together the storyline of why they got this chip for MJF. And the firm. So it's not the Heenan family, it is the Stokely firm. I will say it is a decent faction here. You got Page, you got the Guns, you got Moriarty, you got Morrissey. It's a pretty decent group here. The Mox versus MJF stuff is really making it look like this tournament is a foregone conclusion. I would love to see a complete swerve at this point, but You also got to think that MJF is Mox is the outgoing favorite, right? So I wonder who's the one that picked MJF for the poll here. Shout out to Claudia Moriarty is great. Wish I could pull the green hair off. So do I. So do I. Moses fears MJF. Nice. All right, I got some kids playing outside my window here, so I got to shut the door so I can actually hear what's going on here. Bear with me for a sec, chat. That's better. Still think throw the belt at Jericho. Let's give him the Canadian pop in Toronto, then have him drop it at Full Gear. That. Okay. Huh. The Firm versus BCC and Pinnacle 2.0. You know what, Jaeger? We could get that matchup really well here. And Turnbuckle Studios, good to see you here regardless. I wouldn't say best sidecast cover. It's the most unique, I think would be the best way to put it. Morrissey's like, nope. Saves Danielson Mox for a proper build. Let Mox go on vacation. Gives MJF a feud he has history with. Very much so. That could be. Danielson loses tournament but wins the real prize. Daniel Garcia's heart. Oh. I feel you, shout. I feel the heart there. And Turnbuckle, you stand by your words? Well, you know, everybody's right to their opinion. Just some people are allowed to be wrong. You know, just. It's like when people say they have the freedom of speech. Yeah, you also have the right to freedom to get punched in the face for what you say. And the Ass Boys. Ass men. Ass men. See, now they have to hook up with that guy in Saskatchewan as the license plate ass man. It would just work out perfect. Why does Ethan have to be a part of this? He deserves... Yes! Beautiful country, Canada. All right, Pac. You know what, Astrid, Shadow to Cloud? I'll agree with you, except for one small detail. What are they getting now that they weren't getting before they joined this? TV time. Like, this was a 15-minute promo, and under the MJF starts the segment tradition here. Ah, you're talking about green. Ethan Page does not have green hair. Or else I would have went with you on that. But I agree with you, Show. You know, everybody needs some good green hair. But for right now, oh, it's a dark green? Okay, it's like a moss green. I haven't liked that Ethan has been able to shine alone. Yeah, like... This is where... he's one of those guys where that bloated roster has completely stunted his growth as a wrestler. Like, when he left Impact to go to AEW, like, it should have been able to get an opportunity to expand his stature that much more. And because of the bloated roster, like, it's not that Ethan isn't a great wrestler. It's who do you put him above that's already up there? That's the biggest problem right now. Give Ethan the ROH TV title. I think Joe's going to have that for until they actually get TV. And then he'll drop it at one of their first TV tapings. Because, well, right now, because they don't have TV, they have the ability to have somebody with some notoriety carry that TV title. So this is a point where he's going to have to be able to... You're going to have the man be able to carry the championship instead of the championship carrying the man in this point. And I think it's actually a very smart point to keep that TV title on a guy like Samoa Joe right now. Same thing with the AEW or the ROH title. Give it to Claudio and let him work with it right now. Because, once again, you need to carry that ROH title until there's actually an ROH to deal with. So... All right, let me get this prediction up. Then I'll get back to your questions here, guys. We're doing great with the questions. Feel free to keep feeding them in. Try to keep them somewhat clean. You know, 80% is still okay, but let's see here. Jungle Boy, Jay Lethal. Former PWA champion Jay Lethal. I want to remind all of our Alberta wrestling fans that he was a champion in Alberta. Do you put him above Darby, Jungle Boy? I would say Ethan Page is in that same atmosphere. But the fact that both Darby and Jungle Boy have already gotten the opportunity to get over, unfortunately, you have to put those two above him. Like, don't get me wrong, Ethan should be in that same group right now. And having Wardlow with the TNT championship might be one of the hard things about this right now because, well, frankly, Wardlow should be pushed up as well. It's almost like the divisions are getting pushed down a little bit because the talent is so top heavy here right now. And let's see here. Josh benefit for that. He was able to shine. Yeah. Like Josh Alexander was able to do it because he was given a bigger podium. Because the singles run at Impact to the point where you're getting getting the heavyweight championship and able to go on with it. He was the top dog in basically the biggest fish on a small pond. Ethan right now is a big fish in a huge pond. So sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So, and shout out to Cloud. What is your favorite kind of burrito? I love how you keep things on topic as always. But to be honest, I've had one burrito in my life. And up until recently, I haven't even made tacos myself. So... And typically burritos actually take effort to make. And if anybody's known me when it comes to personal life efforts, Yeah. Is a hot dog a sandwich? And yeah, I'll answer yes to both because there's meat in the middle of bread. I mean, if Ethan hadn't left, Josh wouldn't have been able to really show who he is as a wrestler. To be perfectly honest, I know the North is a hell of a tag team, and they were doing great things in Impact. But I think they were getting to a point at that little stage right there where they were going to need some more singles wrestlers to really impact their roster, no pun intended. So I got a feeling Alexander might still have gotten the same opportunity, just done in a different way. If you want to talk about a team that would probably end up with a split up, that would have been it. But that might be a booking video we have to... I've been thinking about... That's one of the ideas I've been kicking around for myself. And Ashton, yes, pun intended. You know what? If the pun fits, pun it. Not punt it, you know, like certain other NFL teams should be learning to do a little better, but I digress. Did you know that bananas are a berry, but a strawberry isn't? Yes. Yes, I did. Moving on, just like picture in picture. I've been thinking of possibly, like, I know Autumn Blancpain is the king of the rebooking videos. But I would be wondering if you guys would be interested at all if I did any of those for different other things. Because I've had a lot of booking ideas in mind, and I've worked with many bookers around Alberta. So, and so yeah, good to see you here tonight. Shout out. Like I said, I got a few plans coming up in the future here. Like right now, in terms of wrestling, I don't know how much I'm going to have to... What you missed, we had a promo by MJF introducing Stokely Hathaway and the Firm. That was in the previous segment here. The opening matchup was Jon Moxley defeating Sammy Guevarra in the Grand Slam tournament. So it's going to be Moxley versus the winner of the main event between Jericho and Danielson. Sorry, I'm reading the chat at the same time here. So, and yeah, shout out to Cloud. We have learned that I've had one burrito in my life. Well, we used to have a Mucho burrito right by our place, but a lot of people were just like me and not buying it, so it got shut down. So, I'm sorry for any Mexican fans here or people who like burritos. I just haven't had enough of them to really give a good I like them or I hate them. I don't hang out at Taco Bell for tacos and whatnot. If I'm going to have any, I'll make my own because I'm cheap. And plus, I like to focus on you guys, not spending my money on tacos. That is a shame. I am so un-American. Just wait. In 14 days, we are getting Raw in Canada. And then just in about another 2 weeks, we're going to have AEW in Canada. Ethan Page brought up... Just call me Philip. Philip on tacos. Philip on tacos. Man. I'll give you that one shout. I'll give you that one shout. I can't believe I didn't see that the first time. Hey, it's Mr. Parrish. Would that be hello, Mr. Philip on beer? We could have twins here in the chat right now. Welcome to the Burrito Sidecast. You know what? Maybe one of these days we'll do like a cooking stream or something. Good to see you here tonight, Parrish. Hope you're doing well. Excited for your announcement of your triple threat match coming up here in just 10 days. at the Randy River Arena out in Sherwood Park. I'm still floored at the fact that the AEW Fight Forever game still has Punk right on the cover. I got a feeling if they end up firing Jericho before things, or they fire Punk and the Bucks before release, they will get that cover changed. But because realistically, maybe it's a work. No. The fact that the first person to come back from all this is Pat Buck, which I mentioned during the pre-show here. Pat Buck is in attendance backstage right now, back to his role as agent during the show here. So I believe he is the first that's back as part of Cutler's back too? Oh, okay. So you guys heard more than me about it. Cutler's back too. So I got a feeling after they've done the discussions through everybody, after the independent investigation interviews the nonpartisan parts that are officially a part of that aren't directly going to be suspended out of this at all, they're going to be back to work. So the Bucks announced that BTE is on hiatus for the ongoing moments here. And Parrish, I'm glad everyone finds out about my match before me. You know, I did want to say it, but it seems like that is an LPW management kind of call. Because I'm sure that Judge Ben Omen would agree with me when it comes to how the Rads have been treated in LPW as well. He didn't get to find out about his match until I'll come back to yours, Astrid, here in a sec here, but Carl, you're asking a question in chat. How does a video game win awards before it's even released? The award that AEW Fight Forever won at the Gamescom in Germany was actually the most anticipated game at the show. So that's how it can win it. So that's the actual award it won, so that's how it can win awards at that point. So, and yes, awards are handed out at game shows. Like, I love that Lethal Combination so much. Yeah, no worries. I was actually watching the Gamescom when it happened, so that's why I knew that there. And what else? Oh, Astrid, you miss BTE. I completely agree with you. And here's another weird one. Like today was supposed to be the today was supposed to be on G4. Was supposed to be all the WWE stars and Tyler Breeze as part of a takeover. But unfortunately, they canceled all the broadcasts for G4 today. Apparently, 9 to 10 workers at... uh-oh. Here's a roll-up. And you know that wasn't going to work because Lethal was using the wrong leg for the figure four. Well, not the leg he usually uses. Oh, there's a stumble. Catching that snow. There it is. Get out of the way of the camera. All right, there's the tap. Whoa. The underdog wins it in the polls here tonight. But yeah, G4 had 9 to 10 people kicked out of there, so... 2000's era Fred Durst in the second row. Well, maybe he's in the video game too, so maybe that's why he's showing out. Speaking of new metal, yeah. Thought we were talking about Harlan Abbott at some point there for that. Shout out to Cody Defoe for that comment. Hey, Andrew. Good to see you here tonight, my friend. Oh, my God. They're actually going to do this match. So if you guys aren't familiar with what's going on here on the screen, and by the way, Andrew, sorry I just passed by that, but it's very good to see everybody showing up here tonight and outside of the commercials, which is always fun here. But if you guys weren't around during the All Out pre-show, Action Bronson, who actually does the intro music for Hook and his song, he actually stepped up after the match with Angelo Parker. So now they've set up this match at Grand Slam for the former... The frick is he doing? Ha! So Friday we got Danhausen and Page. See, I told you, ever since Page has become part of the firm, he's getting stuff that he doesn't get normally. AKA a match. Might be against Danhausen, but yeah, Hook speaks as well. Just out of curiosity, but with Vince gone, could we see Jim Johnson back in WWE? I think there's a possibility of it. I think that with enough inside baseball, you know, that he isn't helping out enough people. He used to be helping out a bunch of people, but not anymore. But and Carl's asking, are we going to get a Primohausen? You know, with everything happening tonight for the taping, very well could happen. But the fact that Luigi Primo got on there, you know, this is what I like about AEW. It may not be a big thing. It may not be a huge moment, a big setup match, but they'll do little feelers like this. Like, I'll guarantee you Luigi's being a part of Dark this week. If he's not going to be on, he's probably going to be on Rampage and on Dark. Because there's no way they're not going to use the hot guy on the internet right now as part of a match to get some eyes on some product. And this is something that AEW actually does really well. Even if it isn't anything big, they're gonna take advantage of situations like this. WWE, if they can build something out of it, they'll do that. But Britt Baker will attack him on Dark to remove him from the match next week. I just find it amazing that, you know, Britt Baker says she doesn't work Dark, yet the last, 2 out of 3 weeks she's been at Dark to do, whether it be a promo or attack or something. Because the match before Kylan King, when they were on Dark, she came out and did a nice little promo putting her in her place. And then, of course, she got what happened with Sheeta to try and book that around. I want Britt to have that gimmick where she just beats up people on Dark to ruin Dynamite matches the next night. I would like to have that gimmick involved, but give it to somebody who doesn't get a regular spot on Dynamite or Rampage. To me, that would be... To me, that would be the ultimate. Because then it would bring another talent out, maybe. Hell, give it to Ruby for all that matters right now. Like, I know Ruby's getting some good matches in and whatnot, but let's get her a little bit of a spotlight here. She deserves it. Parrish, if he went to NXT, would it be in your Haushausen? No, they'd probably change the name of Danhausen, really. Oh, God. What? Why? Like, Frickin' Darby. He's got a kid's bicycle. It's like, yeah, that's terrible. Okay. Okay, so now we're getting Darby and Matt Hardy on Rampage on Friday. Think that's Marco Stunt's bicycle? You deserve that, Parrish. You deserve that on that one. Not only did they steal his career, but they also stole his bike. Folks, I'm not putting any predictions up on this because I think his opponent's already in the ring. I think that's the rule that we had, is if your opponent's already in the ring and wouldn't be getting a decent entrance anyway. Oh my. I'm assuming this is a Buffalo wrestler or Albany or somewhere up there, but my God, could they find somebody any skinnier? Like, basically you look at this kid here, like, don't get me wrong, I respect every wrestler that gets in the ring. But if you just look at him, what I see here is if you take... God, I love that spine buster. Yeah, that was quick. All right, well, my opinion for what he looks like, if you took the muscles off Malachi Black and the tattoos and shrunk him down by about 6 inches, that's probably what you're going to get out of that jobber there. Oh, Hobbs getting the mic. Let's go. Let's hear what he's got to say. Okay, Hobbs, before the crowd completely dies, say something. Oh, everybody wants Ricky now. Yes, yes, you did. My God. He hit one punch on him and Powerhouse Hobbs is bleeding. I love that. I love that they're actually playing that up. Maybe it's a book at the hospital? I don't know. Cauterize your face a little better? Ooh. I love that one guy in the crowd though. Just as he walked by. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! It's Starks! And the one fan just comes out and he's about ready to get his ass beat as he goes back to his seat. Well, security was so useful there. Microphone upside the head, okay. No, he didn't. He busted up earlier. Did he botch actually blading himself inside of his own face. Ricky's so smooth that his security's jock, the security's jock strap is in the rafters now. He's about as silky as I'm going to be on Saturday when I'm playing a little NBA 2K once again. So we get a tag match a week before a tag match. Did that man just do the people's eyebrow? He's been doing that since the start of his career. Ricky has been known as the budget rock for many years. But the scary thing is, Rock is a time traveler and ripped it off Starks. Ricky Spanish. Let me get this prediction up here for you guys. Oh yeah, You know what's fun? You know what I find funny about this overall as we get... There we go. 5 minutes on the clock, everybody. Feel free. I'm glad that JJ made you laugh there, Darth Rick. If you actually look at it, look at all the title reigns of all the tag champions, it seems like the Lucha Brothers have always been that... You know how you always get that token team that you always face off right after you win the championships? For some weird reason, it's always been the Lucha Brothers with so many different tag teams, right? I've been using that on AEW Review last year, and I have everyone else on the show saying it now, yeah. But it's yeah. Oh, you're talking about heels, pops, and chair shots, aren't you, JJ? Because I know we're immediately following tonight. We're going to send you guys over to the Heels, Pops, and Chair Shots podcast. We're going to be talking about wrestling from this week. It's basically turned into our Wednesday night tradition here. I'm still trying to recharge a little bit over the last couple days here when it comes to things going on. Oh, great segue, but not them. The hell, JJ? Come on, man. Oh, everything pro wrestling. Okay, yeah. Good show as well. I like segues too. If it means walking less and they're cheap to run, I am all for segues. That was too cheap to get a rim shot, so. Did you know the guy that created Segways died by driving his Segway off a cliff? That would not surprise me one bit. Can I just say this right now? I want to see Swerve versus Phoenix in a match. Just straight up. I want that match. All right, JJ, we will see you back here in a few minutes. Want to see Swerve versus everybody? Yeah, like I'll be honest, I haven't watched as much Swerve as I really should have when it comes to watching the indies here. Been a big fan of Keith Lee since I got to see him. He was actually the last match of Chris Hero before he got re-signed the second time to the Feds. So It was a match in Dallas during one of the WrestleCon. And it was actually funny because the bottom rope broke during the match. And they still worked it out perfectly between the two. Phoenix, I don't know if chopping Keith Lee would be the smartest move in the world. That's what happens when you swat a guy that's double your size. He swats back. Ooh, a little picture-in-picture going on here. The thing that I really hate about this matchup is, or this team in the Lucha Brothers, is Phoenix is so damn good, yet he's going to be the guy that gets all the heat all the time. Like, he's going to be the one that gets beaten up all the time, because they're not going to do it to Pentagon. Pentagon's like Mr. No-Sell for 95% of the time. Right in the butt cheeks with that shot. Penta is a death skeleton, yeah. Lee stopped Phoenix's heart there from, yeah, like that's one thing I've always wondered. Do you really, as a small guy, want to attack a big guy with chops? Because he is going to beat the living crap out of you. Yeah, Penta and Phoenix are both, like, from everything I've heard, I'm sure you've met them, Shout, because I know you get out there and you're a man of the people, Shout, from what I've heard. Very much a man of the people. Just chop them in the butt to cramp them up. Whatever you do, you got to make sure you do a lot of it, and you make sure that he can't get back at you. That's the biggest thing right now. Like a typical big man, small man matchup, that's just not... It's just not wise to do. Like, look at this. Like, for all this offense that Phoenix and Penta are putting in here, all Lee has to do is say nope, pick up Phoenix, throw him in the corner, and there's the tag. Oh, stayed at the same hotel as them one time. They came down during the free beer time. Nice. And notice me looking amazingly at Penta's tattoos. It's so funny, like so many different scenarios where you meet random wrestlers here. Called you over, they chopped you at the next show. Oh my, I'm sorry, Shout. Those chops, like, I hope you sold it. Like near death cell kind of thing. Like, in terms of wrestling actual moves, I have, that is very well coordinated there. Phoenix goes for the dive, and Swerve catches him at the absolute last minute. And there goes the hot sauce tag right there. And over the top. Decent backstabber. I'm not going to say it was a great one. Glad to see Madison Reigns eating more losses and still getting on TV. Oh. What in the world? And that's how you break up a cover when you're a big man. That was freaking awesome. That was awesome right there. Oh, I got this guy here. What am I going to do? Oof. Like, how do you defend that kind of power? when you're that small, like Keith Lee playing the big man like a big man here, and I love it. Nice reversal by, oh, I love how they do that spit cell right there. Oh, I love that. Keith Lee, as soon as he sees Phoenix go up to the ropes, he's like, again? Are you stupid? Oh, tried to go for the stomp, but Phoenix blocking. I do love how this is matching up and lining up properly here, so. Jesus! My God! Bro is right. My God, what a hell of a job there by Leon getting up for that destroyer. Damn, that looked good. Damn, that looked good. And there's the reversal. That's it. You know, that's how you make your challengers look good. That is absolutely how you make your challengers look great in a tag match. That was, yeah, neat is a good way to put it. I would absolutely say that that was a fantastic way to finish things off, and all, not even a minute to celebrate. Listen. We should beat his ass anyway. That's how you get the tag titles. All right. Yes, yes, sir. Craig and Josh, nice. Those points look real good. And nice, JJ. Congrats on the win there. Think we got two more oh, go figure. I haven't been keeping track of time here, folks, and honestly, this hour 15 has flown by rather quickly, but it has been an hour 15, so you know what's coming up next. Uh-oh, Lucha Brothers are pissed now. And there's Orange. Double champ? Is this a little bit more of a heel turn for Orange? Very well could be here at this point. But yeah, Astrid, I do think this is the women's time slot because they're probably going to give Jericho and Danielson half an hour. I really hope they wouldn't, but they're probably going to do that. But if they throw a promo in with Jade or something, trying to set up who's going to be next in that match, or next in line there now that Athena's gone. Or Athena's been conquered, better way to put it. And it seems like Athena's just, after she loses there, she automatically gets bumped up into... they had made progress with a different time slot for a bit. Well, here's the thing. They'll do a couple weeks of moving up the card in terms of time, and then they'll come back here, and then they'll move back up. Like, the thing is now, instead of it always being this slot, they'll sometimes move it around, move it up. And they have been moving it up with a little bit more consistency. Don't get me wrong. The women's division is absolute. The talent's not garbage. The booking's garbage. And Shout says it perfectly. They need time to dedicate to women's matches, to get these promos out, to get everything. I honestly think the best thing for AEW would be the creation of ROH. And yeah, Athena was great at All Out versus Jade. Like, don't get me wrong, you're going to get a lot of great wrestlers here. The way the women are booked, you can tell that Toni was an ECW mark. Yeah. The biggest thing for me is the creation of ROH, I think, will do something for the women. For the mere fact that a lot of the roster that's on the quote-unquote main roster is going to go over to that. And it's going to allow a little bit more time for stuff to breathe. Like, you think that Tony Khan's going to sign a whole bunch more people just for ROH? I don't believe so. I honestly don't think so. The pockets are big, but the pockets aren't that big. ROH tradition with women is shit, and Tony's been shit with booking women for 3 years. The ROH show will just have one. Here's my thinking, Shout, and bear with me for everybody that in the chat here. What I think could possibly happen here at this point. Yes, the ROH women's division will get the one match. I think they're going to get 1 hour of TV time. But that also means the 3 hours of TV time that you have with the AEW main roster, a lot of those wrestlers are going to be sent to... Oh. Huh. So my thinking is that they're gonna basically put on some more women's matches on the main card once. Like, you know how we talked about that middle tier of wrestler that really deserves a lot more? They're gonna get their ROH spot, and then you're gonna be able to put more women's matches on this show. And I think eventually they're gonna have to evolve to this. Now, the only other thing I could see happening out of this is how you flip Athena. By the way, predictions are up, everybody. Feel free to throw them in there. There could be a possibility of flipping Athena in this match to take on Toni. All right, fair enough, Shell. Well, you know what? Time can see one way or the other. If you're right, I am more than willing to admit that you're right. I really wish they would book them better. I do think they need a lot of work to help get them to that point. You'll see that time created by others are, yeah. You know what? It wouldn't, like I said, you very well could be right. But I think it has to be to the point where I know that we're loud about this, and a lot of the regulars are as well. But you got to get to the point where the casuals are demanding more. And it's one thing I've always brought up when it comes to wrestling, period. Whether you're talking about Impact, whether you're talking about MLW, whether you're talking about ROH, whether you're talking about AEW, whether you're talking about WWE, tending to the regular fan, while maybe somewhat important, it's not as important as catering to the casual fan. Because the casual fan is the one that you can catch more often. The dedicated ones will show up come hell or high water for the most part. If you want an example of that, watch Raw for the last 10 years. Prior to the Triple H Yeah, it's cart before the horse, to be honest. Yeah, like... It's completely backwards, but unfortunately, there's a lot of backwards thinking involved in a lot of this stuff. And if it was proper thinking, it would already be fixed. Let's just put it that way, Shout. In my opinion, at least. I always try to think the positive and the positive ways that things can get fixed up. Like the night that they actually have 2 women's matches on Dynamite, I think the internet might explode. But I also think, like, and I know we talked about this on previous sidecasts here. Like, the problem here is not the wrestlers in the ring right now. Like, these 4, you're going to have no problem getting them to that position here. Like, the best example I can give you is what happened with Penelope Ford last week. For all the great wrestlers that they have at the very top echelon, the second tier just doesn't have a consistent layer right now. And even there, like, and Penelope has shown on a consistent basis that she hasn't been able to keep a consistent match unless you can blind it with something like a hardcore match, because we all remember Ty and Anna Jay versus Penelope Ford and the Bunny. That was one of the biggest ones, right? Yeah, like the Marina Shafir match. Like, they tried to play it off as that's a different style and that's the ugliest guy. Until we can get that second tier of the roster to a level where, like I said, us diehards, we're willing to watch stuff like that and watch people grow and whatnot. The casual fan, if they see a crappy match out there or they see stuff that isn't fun to watch, they're going to turn the channel. They're not going to come back. It's hard to believe the women don't get time because they're not draws, but they're not draws because they don't get time. Hard to get crowds invested if you don't show them. Exactly. It's a catch-22 here. But it's also like, I'd be fine with this talk about second tier if they use their first tier well. It depends who you have on what tier, and it might be another discussion for another night as to who we think they're there, because I think everybody's going to have their own definition of what tiers different wrestlers are in. Like, hell, we were talking about the PWI 500 earlier today with the fact that John Moxley isn't even in the top 10. It absolutely infuriates me. And the fact that, in my personal opinion, based on everything they're talking, all the scenarios that came up, Okada should have probably been number 1 compared to Reigns, because he's been a lot more consistent and that one botch during the Royal Rumble should have brought down Reigns to a number 2. To me, that's like the biggest problem right there. So, but as we said before, every poll is relative, right? It is whether you're dealing with, when you're dealing with any kind of opinion poll, you're going to have different answers from everybody. And the biggest problem, like the biggest thing I came up with as I was looking at that list of the top 10, it's all who got booked right. And this is where Shout of the Cloud just fits right in perfectly here. If you can get mid-level talent to get booked at a higher level, then they're going to get noticed and they're going to get that priority and get seen better, which I know I talked myself into a complete circle over the last couple minutes here when it comes to this, but that's the confusing part about this whole thing and why it's so frustrating for us as fans to see this. On one hand, somebody could say the talent isn't developed. On the other hand, they're asking why haven't you developed the talent that you have? And these are all answers that we can't make ourselves. We have to get those answers out of TK, and frankly, actions are going to speak louder than words when it comes to it. Like, I'm really like, one person that I'm really enjoy the fact that she got into AEW is Toni Storm. Like, remember what we got to see out of WWE from her? Like, frankly, as many pies as she got in the face. Yeah, I agree with you, Shout. In many ways, I think women have never been in the vision for Toni when it comes to matches, and frankly, it's going to come down to the marketing executives of TBS, TNT, Discovery, and all that, telling them that we need more. Because if they're getting excellent ratings based on the booking that he's doing and having one women's match on the show, would you change it? If you're gonna do this and your sponsors like what you have and your television network likes what you have, then why are you going to change it? I do find it funny though. Like, we could talk about ratings, we could talk about that, and well, a lot of people are taking a lot of umbrance when it comes to the Raw ratings from this week. That were viewership was severely down this week compared to previous weeks, and just blaming it on being a blah Raw. A lot of people forget that a lot of wrestling fans are football fans. Nice reversal by Deeb there, just rolling through. The biggest thing I hate right now is the fact that we got to talk about how the booking of AEW is such crap when it comes to women when we have a great match with these 4 women going at it in here. God, that kick. 1 for 2. And this is the point where Storm pulls it out. I would love to see a Deeb versus Storm match for the title, even next week. Because they haven't announced yet what they're doing for next week for the, well, as we're talking about the women's segment. And The part that upsets me about that is the fact that essentially the chair went the other way than what it was supposed to. If you guys didn't, well, unless that was intentional, typically what's supposed to happen is you open the flat part of the chair to the head so that the fact that the chair will actually open up as you get hit. Toni literally got domed with that. And it looks once again that the underdog's paying out tonight, so. And here comes Hayter. Or are we getting this split up now? Oh, there it is. And you see here as well. And Hayter knows how to hold a chair. And the fact that, so this is interesting. Hayter didn't completely join Baker there. She just wanted to rip apart Toni Storm, which makes total sense right now, right? So now we're getting the Rampage preview. That is going to be a match. I would love to see that get time. Samoa Joe, Josh Woods. Jamie Hayter on your TV. You're happy now? I'll give you that. That's a win. But yeah, like right now we're setting up, we could have Hayter taking on Storm. We could have Deeb taking on Storm because she got the pin here. Baker's always hunting around there, even though I don't think she needs the championship. But I will say, I do love the fact that they're putting Josh Woods here up against Samoa Joe. Just watching this promo and that, that's going to be a hell of a fun match. But speaking of fun, you got Ethan Page and Danhausen on Friday. Dynamites or Rampages are always usually, Well, we talked about Penelope Ford and Willow Nightingale. That'll be interesting. Matt Hardy, Darby Allin. That'll be a car wreck. I could imagine they might actually do another four-way for the championship, for the women's championship again. Wow! 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 I called that about 3 seconds before it comes up on my TV. Oh! So they're going to get that one out of the way. Pac and Orange Cassidy. Oh, and they're going to get 2.0 on Bronson and Hook on the Rampage. Damn it. Might actually have to watch a Friday one then. Yeah, it's nice to see Willow Nightingale in there. I hope she can work with Penelope, though. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I want to crap on her completely. Penelope Ford is a good wrestler. But it just... The problem is now we need great wrestlers, just not good wrestlers. That's the that's basically the biggest problem we have right now when it comes to wrestling. When it comes to TV wrestling, there's a higher standard now. I'm hoping NXT is going to show that the same way, especially now that they've decided to ditch the Howdy Doody gimmick of the pastels and all that. Raw's had to step it up. SmackDown's had to step it up. Raw's going to have to take another level now because, well, they're going up against Monday Night Football. And I'm thinking everybody in the chat here is from North America, but if you're not, Monday Night Football is a pretty big staple out here in North America. So I wasn't surprised to see the decrease in number of viewers based on Monday Night Football, especially since it was the opening game of the season. And it had a bit of a rivalry game involved with Russell Wilson returning to Seattle. Don't get me wrong, it was an absolute dog part of a game, but Rainbow Vomit gone, black and gold back. Goodness. Here's the thing, Turnbuckle. I don't want it to go fully back to black and gold, myself personally. I don't want it to go back to that. If they want to use it as a solid developmental, change the colors, change it a little subtly, but just get the focus back on the ring and make it like a... I hate to make it sound like it should go to a standard indie promotion, but the fact they had all these bright colors as pastels and whatnot, get the focus back on the wrestlers in the ring. Because hell, I know Carmelo Hayes lost the North American Championship last night. I got a feeling he's going to be the guy to take Breaker's championship, and he's going to get moved up, right? Can we change Braun Breaker's name back to Steiner? No. Mainly because Steiner, well, WWE needs trademarks. And they're going to have that trademark on Breaker for life. And instantly, the second that Braun leaves NXT, WWE, in that whole area, he's going to be known as Braun Steiner. Like, let's not even kid ourselves. I guarantee you that Rex Steiner, which the real name, he did that intentionally for that reason. He wanted to make sure that Steiner is available to him post Federation career. Because let's face it, unless he's going to have like a 30-year career with the Fed, he's very well got the personality and the charisma to handle an indie career. Whether you're going to Impact or AEW, even AEW or anything else, I don't see them changing the name. I want NXT to still be developmental, but maybe have some more guys cycle down from the main roster. I think they're going to do that. I think that once they do this they're going to be doing another shake-up, and NXT is going to be part of it. And essentially, it's going to turn into 3 rosters. And, well, frankly, I see NXT being a little bit more of a... I don't want to say rampage. I want to say a little bit more closer to dark. Where a lot of the developmental wrestlers will get their TV time, will get their characters fleshed out, but they're going to be losing to a lot of established talent as well. So I do think they're going to have 3 solid brands in there. But let's face it, they've hit some home runs and they've squibbed into some triple plays once in a while. And I'm not just saying that because Floyd the Bat's in the ring. Sorry, man, I wanted NXT to be just 2 hours of toxic attraction.
You idiot.
And
you idiot.
I'm just going to leave that there like that. So the one thing I will say about delaying these entrances and making everything nice and slow coming out to the ring as I'm going to get this prediction set up here. All right, I'm going to set this up here for 10 minutes as tradition. I run the main event all the way till about 10-2 here, so feel free to get your predictions in on this matchup, but take your time because we still got We got about 20 minutes here until the end of the show here, so I don't see this finishing very quickly. The one thing I wish this match would happen is the fact that there wouldn't be any shenanigans, but somebody get that damn sign out of the front row. CM Punk owns the Bucks. I love the fact that these guys are going out here and just pushing the fact that every move is so important, but on commentary, when you're trying to tell a story like this, you should be working up to it a little bit. Like, I know you want to get things fired up right off the bat, but this match here, I don't get that feeling that it's going to be one of those quick matches that everybody's like going crazy all over the place here. Can never bet against your boy. Yeah, I could see that. Oh, the Pure Champ on the watch. Oh, Jericho didn't catch himself on the ring apron. At least he didn't do the suicide dive this time. Oh, there's a running knee. His match is over. I do appreciate having Regal out there. Just for the fact that... Could you imagine what Regal's going to be like on commentary next week if it is Danielson and Moxley one-on-one? Because I think the last time they actually had a successful heel versus heel matchup on TV, Regal was a part of it. When they had Finlay versus Regal. Hell, we're going all the way back to Reign of Terror days, I do believe, if not WCW. Wow, beautiful headbutt. So here's a question for my Canadian folks. Do you think they allow Danielson to do that flying headbutt here in Canada? Because quite possibly that might not be, that might be a trigger for some people. Regal will talk about how much of a purebred wrestler Danielson is. Then he'll be like, I found Moxley in a dumpster eating concrete. Yeah, I could totally see that. Think they'll be fine with the headbutt in Canada? Of course, I'd be the jackass on commentary. The second that headbutt's hit in Canada, I'd be like, you're da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah, I'll do that to myself now.
You idiot!
But I will say, in terms of, old wrestlers and whatnot, the fact the Billington boys were out here in Alberta here over the last week, and from what I've heard, they've done some fantastic work in their matches. I believe they were with Can-Am, RCW, and the Wild Rose over the last week here. Gotta love the triangle dive by Jericho there. And if you're wondering, my American friends, if you are talking about the Billington boys, yes, that is the Dynamite Kids. If hit the headbutt, I'm sure Sure, the Benoit chances are. By the way, Carl, this is a Benoit allowed zone. For people that didn't know, I did get a chance to meet Chris Benoit way back in 96. 94 to 96, and I actually did get to know him rather well, so it's safe here. I got to meet him while he was off for an injury here in as he trained just outside of Edmonton here. And Shout, I'm probably more with you on that. Because I would honestly think if it was AEW, and even if somebody put up a Benoit sign, it would get ripped down pretty quick. What kind of pop would it be if David showed up on screen during that Canadian Dynamite? You want to talk about buzz on the internet? Oh, so you got to meet him back in 04 there, yeah. No, Carl, when it comes to this stream, I'm more than open to letting anybody say whatever they want as long as they A, respect other people's opinions, and B, don't be a troll. The only person on this stream that's a troll is me. And I do my job very well. So, and for those that are just popping in or just hanging around here a little bit here, we've got about 3 minutes left to get your predictions in for this match, and I'm glad this match is flying by because, well, once again, I said it before and I'll say it again, I don't like Jericho in long matches. Like, don't get me wrong, Jericho's going to go down as one of the best, if not the best wrestler of all time for all the stuff that he did. I technically live under a bridge. Does that make me a troll? Depends. Do you listen to Alter Bridge? Because if you listen to Alter Bridge, it's sort of... How's tonight's Dynamite? Tonight's Dynamite actually... I would have to say it's setting up Grand Slam quite well. Jericho's most impressive achievement is eating a large pizza by himself in 4 minutes. Yeah, that would be pretty damn impressive. Stepping up the points, go big right now. All right, well, right now we're at 70-30 in favor of Danielson, so if people want to get in on the betting... The underdog is on Chris Jericho right now, so... just a quick recap of Dynamite. We had Moxley win the opening match over Guevarra. We had Swerve in Our Glory take the victory from the Lucha Brothers. 4 minutes rookie. Yeah, we're going to have a pizza eating challenge sometime soon here then, Crowder, just because, yes, saying that, my friend. We had Powerhouse Hobbs squash a local competitor. Ricky Starks came out to do the save there. Neglected to mention he also downed 12 cans in those 4 minutes. Okay, that's a little bit more impressive. We had Toni Storm get pinned by Serena Deeb in the tag match thanks to a chair by Britt Baker and the distraction by Rebel. We have set up a women's four-way for next week for the championship. 100% will be in the backbreaker contingent eating contests. That might be a 2023 thing that we get going here, so. Because I'm sure Jules will be all over it. Except Jules will be one of those guys that would need one of those funky eating contests, like, you know, those weird combinations that he keeps seeing on the internet. Him and Thaddeus are going back and forth on the Twitters about that stuff. Wow. Jericho with the flying head scissors. Backbreaker as well. With all the names that I have for all the different stuff that we do, you know, trust me, Shout, if I'm going to start a wrestling promotion, it's going to be an E-Fed. And it's going to be based on Fight Forever, I'm guessing. That is actually one of the things I would like to do here. I've watched a lot of MF Steve. Crowder for World Champ. We still have that that Madness title there that Jules still has. We still got to figure out what we're going to do with that. There could never be too many Edmonton wrestling promotions. Let me just work myself out of that one. Oh, speaking of warping, just want to give a quick shout out here. This past Sunday, I recorded a podcast with Adam Blank with Remember the Game. We did a fantasy draft of NES games, Nintendo Entertainment System games. It is going to be available on their Patreon feed, so it will be coming out next Thursday, and we're doing a little poll on there. The winner of the poll is actually getting $100 towards the charity of their choice. And since we're going to be kicking off our Be Part of the Solution campaign in October here, I picked Jack.org as the recipient if I win. So please feel free, patreon.com/rememberthegame. Sign up now, get all the details, and then it'd be a hell of a birthday gift if you guys would vote me in for that. $2 a month to get the podcast. It's all about retro games too, which, you know, something I want to get a little bit more involved in. And I will be doing, oh, there's the running knee. I will be doing a little bit more of the NES retro games so you guys can see what I was talking about next week, because the next 2 weeks I have off. From next Monday all the way till the 30th. So I do plan on streaming a little bit more over the next 2 weeks here. Because, let's face it, I don't go out and do things on holidays. I just sit at home and relax. It's more recoup time than anything. But I will say this has actually been booked really well here. It's a bit of a standoff. Who do I have to scam to get time off work? My favorite NES game growing up was called Deja Vu. Well, I'll throw out a little spoiler here, and I won't go through the full list, but it's going to be quite Ow. That didn't look good. He didn't land anywhere there. I love Odd Games, Wrath of Black Manta, Adventures of Bayou Billy, Zenix, Adventures of Lolo. There's been a lot of those, but honestly, growing up, I was a Sega Genesis kid as well. My parents didn't want to pay for the full NES and whatnot. I was actually more Genesis Super Nintendo personally, but I ended up with the number 2 pick, and I'll tell you, it's pretty obvious. The number 2 pick for the NES, I picked Super Mario Brothers, and I'm pretty sure everybody could understand what number 1 was, because, well, frankly, there is only one answer for the best Nintendo game. Period. Oh my God, the Bret Hart spot. Of course, shoulder to glow. Darth Mick, here's the funny thing. Oh, the one qualification for the whole thing, I'll tell you this, guys. Those games actually made the list between the four of us. And I know that a lot of the guys here are part of the Remember the Game chat. It was myself, the McHugh brothers, Bradley and Mark, and then also David Ray. So I'm not going to spoil anything else because, well, frankly, you deserve to check things out. So patreon.com/remember the game. It is available next Thursday. Yeah, I was actually very humbled when Adam asked me to do it. But the fact that he did announce on the Patreon that he is doing this draft, I want to make sure I get it out there for you guys so you know. I really want this to go well, so he does some future ones. Yeah, Adam is absolutely a cool dude, an amazing guy. And I'm not saying that because there's a minor potential he could be in the chat right now, just lurking, but... Is Danielson going to pull this off with one leg? No. No, that's going to be it right here. There is a possibility he's there. Oh, Zelda 2 is greater than Zelda? We're going to have to get into a discussion over that, my friend. But yeah, to get all the details and to find out, you're just going to have to check out the Patreon feed next Thursday. So Zodiac and Darthwick, we're going to have a battle in the chat with you guys, but you guys can fight over that. I will say this, and a lot of the games you guys are mentioning in here are on that list. I'm feeling minorly confident about my list because I picked a little bit of everything for everybody. There are a couple I'm a little pissed off I didn't get because there were good picks by other guys, and like, I don't know, you guys can tell me this. Have you ever been part of a fantasy draft where 4 rounds in a row you get cock blocked? Where the guy in front of you picks exactly who you're going to pick? Actually, it's funny, shout. I do remember Dragon Warrior. I know it was on my list, but we only had 10 games. Mr. Gimmick Crow gave the game get. Well, at least they're going through some. At least they're going through some serious missed falls here, or false finishes. Sorry, wow, my English went well. Danielson wrestling at one shoe. That's always great. You know what's funny? We were talking of, yeah, shout. I like that too. You know what? We're gonna have to get into that. And you know what? Next week we'll talk about a lot of retro games too. Jericho trying to fight out of it here. Myself, I'll consider the Xbox 360 and the Xbox Retro. Been on the original Xbox kick lately. I got a bunch of original Xbox games here. I just wish I had more days of the week to stream and to play games. With all the extra editing and whatnot I'm doing here. Holy crap! So now we got an... Danielson and Moxley next week. Once again, the underdog wins it. The BCC is going to be going at it next Wednesday. That... And JJ overly excited about that. Now, do they shake hands or do they beat each other up? I'm assuming they shake hands and go out and have a beer and whatnot. There won't be any heel turn. This is what BCC's all about, right? So they got to get this face-off pose here, which actually... Get that fucking sign out of there. Pardon my French. Security guy came around. I could see that look from that guy in the crowd. Even Buddy's like, no, 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 we're not going to have this. Yeah, I could totally see this here with Danielson winning that championship. And realistically, when it comes to when you set up the matchups, like where you were going to go with Punk, it seems like it could be pretty You could set up most storylines the same way with Danielson as you could with Punk. When it comes to, like, you have the same body type, you have this similar kind of actions in the ring. Punk's a little bit more of a brawler than Danielson is, but you could still have some pretty good matchups there. But we're going to have a hell of a... Oh, you could have Brian versus MJF. Well, between being vegan, between having to sit out because of his neck surgeries, basically being retired for X number of years. There's so many stories you could play off that, but I think we're writing off Moxley a little bit more just because, you know, Moxley could be sort of pulling out a red herring here when it comes to this whole article about supposed to have 6 weeks off. I personally believe it's true, but right now when it comes to wrestling, you really can't believe everything that you hear. The dirt sheets used to be really good, but over the last few weeks, it just seems that few months, it just seems that there's almost intentional red herrings going out everywhere. BS, if it's on the internet, it's true. I'll give you that. Yeah, like I know you don't believe everything you see on the internet, but at the same time, when it came to wrestling media, you could pretty much say that, I'd say outside of one or two sources, everybody was pretty much, I don't want to say bang on, but at least had the right direction. Now, it just seems like reports are going left, right, center all over the place here. So, but all in all, tonight, a great Dynamite. Once again, I got the stories across that it needed to. We saw some missteps in a few ways here, but we did. Basically, they got themselves into Grand Slam, and that's all they really wanted to do. And yeah, you want Mox to have that vacation. I hope he does. And I really do hope that he gets it right after Grand Slam and just says, look, I'm taking 6 or 8 weeks off. It would suck for the people in Canada because they don't get a chance to see him, but it's also going to be interesting. We'll talk about it next week, especially with Raw coming to Canada. But we really wonder who's going to be the ones to show up for each of these shows because, well, vaccination laws don't allow you to come across if you're not vaccinated. That's why the tag team tournament for the women's got screwed up there with Nikita Lyons. So Wonder who else might be involved in that. We're going to get a clear indication next week, so we know we definitely won't see the Usos next in Edmonton. Young Bucks, Omega. I personally think that Tony Khan is hoping that this investigation gets wrapped up by the end of this month. And I got a feeling if some of the agents are already coming back to work, that things are starting to conclude, because an investigation like this is not going to take forever. I think we all can realize that you talk to everybody, you gather the footage, you give everything to your owner, and just say, here. And shout, you got a very good point here. Visit Renee's family, show up on Dynamite in a non-televised role. Yeah. Kingston was only out for 2 weeks for punching Sammy. Yeah. And the thing is, something like this that got this much exposure, like, don't get me wrong, the Sammy and Eddie thing did get a bunch of exposure, but the black eye that this episode gave this company, it's gonna mean a lot. And yeah, the other part is Kingston was also like, yo, I did that. And yeah, I'm excited. Do you honestly think Punk's going to admit that he did something wrong here, or the Bucks are going to admit they did something wrong? I know I have my own opinions on this, and my opinion's very simple. If Punk's been having this problem everywhere for so long, it's been multiple companies, it's been multiple situations. Whether it might not be completely all true, but there's got to be a good portion of it that is. And it was like I said earlier, everybody's got the freedom of speech. But with that same freedom of speech, you do have the right to get punched in the mouth for it. I'll allow you to say whatever you want, but if you're going to personally offend me or attack me, you better be prepared to take the retribution for that. And I'm not talking about T-Bar Mason, those guys. I'm talking about, if you're going to take a shot. Yeah, exactly, Darth Mick. Freedom of speech isn't freedom of consequence. And we're just seeing a clear episode of that come up here with this whole situation. I think the Bucks might win. The Mega informed the Mega Elite, and then she yelled BT trigger, and they kicked the door open right off the hinges. You know what? We can get into this later on here on a future night here, but my personal opinion, I think she was there to watch the show, and frankly, you keep your legal counsel around during every press conference because, well, words are going to be said, and if your legal counsel needs to deal with something, it's better for them to know before than after. Because, well, if they're actually there and they hear something or see something that, might get flagged, I'm sure somebody with that kind of experience can roll through things and let them know that things are going well like that, or things are not going well, things can get organized. This is what you got to do to fix this, and they can already get those wheels turning in their head. All right, Darth Mick, you have yourself a great night, a great week. We'll see you here. I'll be here all week, but I'm sure you'll be here for next Wednesday for Grand Slam Dynamite, so we will see you then. I just wanted to dub it the Mega Elite. Yeah, nice.